I have a family member coming over today to do a chore for me. It's kind of a big deal. And I know that he would not accept any cash from me for doing this job. But I also know that his favorite dessert happens to be angel food cake. So I thought I would whip up an angel food cake and have it ready for when he arrives. So if you've never made an angel food cake, it's really simple as long as you follow the steps along. So come along with me and learn how to make an angel food cake from beginning to end. I'll be right back. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to bring the eggs to room temperature, and they're still a little bit chilly. So I'm going to do, first step is to separate my eggs. Now these eggs are, I've had them out of the fridge about a half an hour with the lid open so that they would warm a bit, but they're still a bit chilly. So I'm going to crack them at the beginning and separate them so they have a little more time to come up to room temperature. And there's a dozen of them. This might be a good time for you to figure out how to use up all the egg yolks as well. So there could be some puddings on the horizon for some of you. Okay, I've got the eggs all separated. If I had one more yolk, maybe two, I'd have a full cup of egg yolks. So right now it's sitting above the 3/4 mark. And these are large sized eggs. So I'm just going to set my egg whites aside for the time being, and I'm going to start on the other ingredients. And today is going to be a little bit of a substitution day because I don't have cake flour, which is your best option for making angel food cake, is to use cake flour. But I do have a substitution for that, because you know, if you go out, if you only make a recipe that has cake flour in it maybe twice a year, you definitely are not going to buy a whole bag of flour for that. Even a small bag would be too much. So in order to make 1 cup of cake flour, I am going to take this 1 cup measure of regular flour, and I'm going to remove 2 tablespoons of the flour, measured flour, and I am going to replace that with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and that will give me the equivalent of 1 cup of cake flour. There we go. I hope I didn't make that too confusing. It doesn't have to be confusing, folks. It can be quite simple. Now, I'm going to just set that aside for a moment. Let's see. It's another one of those set it aside things. I'm going to use a couple of different machines in my mixing today. I need one and, what do I need here? I need 1 3/4 cups of white sugar, but I want to make it superfine sugar, and that is a little bit of a process too, but not bad. So I'm going to measure my sugar into this container, this measuring cup, and I need 1 3/4 cups of sugar. I might have to go back to the cupboard to get some more. Let's see. And that's 1 2/3. Just a little bit more. Yeah, I guess everything that I've got in here pretty much. Yeah, every scrap. There we go. Now I am going to take this and I'm going to put it into my food processor, and I am going to pulse it a few times to try and make some of it even finer, because we don't want when we put the dry ingredients into the whipped egg whites, we don't want to lose the height that we've gained in the egg whites. So we're going to put things in as light as we possibly can. So this is going to go into, I don't know if I've got it on screen, yes, into the old food processor, and I'm going to pulse it about 10 times. So now I'm going back to the food processor again. I'm going to add my flour into it, the food processor. And then I'm going to measure out 1 cup of this superfine sugar that we just made, and I'm going to set it aside. Set it aside. And the rest of it I'm going to put back in the food processor with the flour, and I'm going to pulse it 5 times. Now I've got my egg whites here. I'm going to put into my KitchenAid to start whipping them, and I also need some cream of tartar. I need 1½ teaspoons of cream of tartar. So I will add that right now. There's 1 and 1/2 teaspoons of cream of tartar. The cream of tartar helps to build the volume and hold the egg whites up because there's no baking powder in this recipe. So the cream of tartar is what's going to stabilize and hold up the egg whites. So into the mixer, and I'm going to mix these about 5 minutes until I come to a soft peak. Then I'll be back. Now, I haven't whipped it the entire 5 minutes, but I am seeing that it's starting to take shape. So now I am going to slowly add in the 1 cup of superfine sugar that we made in the food processor. So here we go with that. Now, I have whipped up my egg whites, and as you can see, they're pretty firm. So now I'm going to slowly incorporate my flour. First I better add in this vanilla. I need 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. I should have maybe done that while it was on the mixer stand. That would have maybe been better. And while I'm adding things, I'm going to add just 1/4 teaspoon of salt to my flour and sugar mixture that I've reserved back. Now, you don't want to use any plastic utensils in any of this because it might contain grease, and grease is not your friend when it comes to making angel food cake. I'm just going to get out a metal spoon, and I'm going to fold my vanilla in, and I'm just moving from the middle, turning it into the interior of the cake. I think that's probably good because the rest of it will get mixed as we add flour. So I'm going to do this in 3 applications. Again, you don't want to do it all at once because we don't want to lose all the height that we've gained in these egg whites. I think they're pretty thoroughly mixed in. I'll add the next third. Now, on farms in days gone by, this used to be a really good way to use up your excess eggs. You could make some sort of a pudding or a curd with the egg yolks. So this didn't require a lot of ingredients, nor did it require a lot of time. So this would have definitely been a way to use up your eggs. Now, I'm just going to finish folding this last bit of flour, the last third, into this cake, which I'm so pleased with the volume we were able to achieve today. You definitely need the cream of tartar to do that. Now you never want to overmix it, but you also don't want to see a whole bunch of dry particles of flour on or sugar on the top of it. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm just going to grab my cake pan. I have an old aluminum tube pan that I've had since, I think, 1971. I'm not sure, a long time. And it doesn't look like much, but it still does the trick. So there we go. I'm just going to evenly put this around inside. Your day is going really well. I have a busy day ahead of me because I have, like I said, family coming today to work on a project for me, and I want to make sure that I'm able to at least feed them while they're here. Some people would say that's how I love, is with food, because I definitely do like to cook for a big group of family and show them how much I love them through food. Okay, so I'm not going to muck with that too much. It's not looking very pretty at the moment, but it's within 1 inch of the top of the pan. And now I'm going to put this cake into a 325-degree oven for 40 to 45 minutes until you put a toothpick into the top of it and it comes out clean. And then when it comes out of the oven, I'm going to invert it, which turn it upside down. And this one doesn't have any little stands for it to turn over on, so I turn it over onto a kitchen funnel, but I'll show you that process when we come back. See you soon. Well, I've just removed it from the oven and I've turned it upside down on the funnel, and I will leave it to cool. And I want to cool it completely upside down because all the air that we gained while it was being whipped carefully and then put into the oven and raised up to the top of the pan, now we need to hold it there till it cools. So we don't want it to sink back down from its own weight. There you have it, folks. That is how easy it is to make an angel food cake from scratch. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, that you will like it, share it with your friends, and considering subscribing to the channel. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.